Hello everyone, this is the Universals and welcome to our review of the Battle of Ranksor and Kolos.
Yay!
I was waiting for him to introduce us. Hi, I'm Jean-Luc.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Nick.
And Ben's not here because he's too busy with Strictly.
Okay chaps, so what did we think of the finale?
I thought it was great, but reflection, not as great as I originally thought. Of course I have to rewatch it, I didn't get the chance.
I've only seen this once.
On initial thinking about it, it wasn't as great as I enjoyed it, as much as I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, I think it's not one that goes well over time.
I don't think it stands out in amongst the other finales. That's something I thought.
No.
It was a finale,
No.
what?
Yeah, it could have been any episode within the series.
I like the fact that Tim Shaw came back.
Yes.
The thing is, I feel like I'd be very happy to see him further beyond this, see what happens to him next, but his lust for power in this one, it's just like, so isn't he just the master but in blue?
Let me say one thing about Tim Shaw.
Oh,
My problem with Tim Shaw coming back, although I think he was a lot better than this, was The Woman Who Fell to Earth was all about the characters as opposed to the villain.
Yeah.
So they never really bigged him up as the main bad. He didn't feel like a character that had to return. And then, so when he comes back, he just feels a little bit underwhelming. I was actually expecting, it would be Tim Shaw as well as the rest of the race, the Stenza, which are bigged up in the Ghost Monument. The Stenza, they wiped out this world. They go to war.
This goes back to a point that I mentioned about Series 6. Although the science weren't reoccurring from a previous year, they'd only been introduced that year, they had been utilised across the series, and especially in that episode.
Yeah.
And it tied up quite a lot of stuff, so even though they weren't a reoccurring villain monster, they were at least utilised in both the episodes and the series.
Yeah, I think this doesn't feel
as
like
bad as the story was.
Sorry, go on.
As bad as not so good as the story in the series arc was, at least the villains were utilised.
Yeah. I think that was the problem with going into this finale, is that it was not bigged up enough.
Yeah.
We had no lead-in, there was no arc. It was very much just, okay, now this is the finale, and... Yeah.
It would have been better if it was just a brand new threat, maybe.
Yeah, well the thing is, what I've heard is the New Year's Day special is actually going to be more of a finale to the actual series than the finale.
Sounds like it.
When the Pating returns.
You know what, I wouldn't mind that.
I would. I hate the Pating.
Nick.
Yes.
Remember, the Pating was the little thing from Tangerine Conundrum?
I know what it is. Doctor Who magazine had a little cartoon where the Doctor invited it for Christmas dinner.
Tim Shaw, right? I feel like making him come back wasn't exactly necessary. I mean, it was wrapping up Graham's arc this season, which we'll get to.
Supposedly.
But it could have been wrapped up in a much better way.
But
you want to keep Bradley Walsh, so you can't exactly kill him off. So what else are you supposed to do, eh?
True.
Mr. TARDIS Reviews said that maybe It Takes You Away should have been the finale because that wrapped up Graham and Ryan's story arcs much better.
The finale should have been a two-parter. That's how you could have made it work.
So let's get into the plot. So you've got Last Airbender, and they exist. Then Tim Shaw drops down and says, "I am God. Worship me for the next 2,000 years."
They perceive him to be their god,
and he doesn't tell them otherwise. So So then they get a distress call from
9 distress calls.
Yeah. And they go to the planet called Avocado.
I honestly thought there was going to be an actual battle in there.
Yeah, true. There was no battle. Such a clickbaity title.
A title called The Battle... The next Doctor was less clickbait than this title.
Yeah, the problem...
at least it was closer to the truth.
The problem was, it wasn't even about a battle either. Like, fair enough if there had just been a battle. It was just, let's call it this because it's a cool title.
Because they mentioned a battle. It was a path... It was just...
Yeah.
Yeah, they put that in the marketing.
So then they find this guy who lost his memory because the planet messes with your head. And then they're like, hey, we're good people. We'll just help your mind. And then he starts remembering things. And then he remembers that, his crew was lost. Turns out, Mr. Tim Shaw, Bluetooth man.
It was me the whole time, Doctor.
So then Tim Shaw kills a person. Then they go and find Tim Shaw. Then they're at the ship.
You're not very good at synopsises, are you?
Graham says he's Tim Shaw, bam bam dead.
Okay, here's a question. What did you think of the whole Graham killing Tim Shaw conflict with the Doctor? Did you ever think that he was going to do it? Was there a moment where it was like, do you think he'll go through with this?
It was extremely more likely he wasn't, but there was a small chance he would. I think it was very predictable, though.
There was a moment where I thought that he was actually going to do it. I thought this was how they were going to, sort of... I thought he was going to do it, but the Doctor wasn't going to find out.
I was conflicted. I wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. On the one hand, it's Doctor Who. No one dies in Doctor Who. On the other hand, that's just what I come to expect with the Moffat era. This is Chris Chibnall. This is a whole different ballpark. So I did not know what was going to happen.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking.
And the thing is, when he initially said, I'm going to kill him, I thought, okay, this is a bit of a heel turn from last episode. This is a bit jarring. But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, I care about my friends a lot, and if someone killed them, I'd be like, you're gonna f***ing die.
Yeah.
So Graham is relatable. I sound drunk. I swear I'm not. So then they split up. Yaz has something to do in this episode.
Not much.
Not much.
Well, she's on her own, basically. She's with the
Yasmin
other
gets
person.
hardly anything to do this series.
Yeah, I actually thought
apart
that
from
Yaz
episode 6
was just sort of there this episode.
Yeah,
no, I think she actually had a purpose. Not much of one. But
she had some purpose, but not much.
When
it was quite a step back.
The thing is, when she's basically in some scenes, she's our lead character because she's part of our main cast, and she's the only one who falls into that category that's in some of those scenes.
I think if any character is going to be lead the series next year, I think Yasmin will be first.
Definitely. Well, we can.
Yeah, I think she's going to become she's going to be the Adric of the series.
No, I don't want her to be written out. I want her to be fixed.
She's going to get killed on New Year's Day. She just gets shot.
I wouldn't mind that. She could be the Adric of the series. We'd all be pissed off about all the character development, but you know what? If it's not going to get better, you might as well.
Well, no, the thing is, I'm hoping that Graham and Ryan, they either leave or they take a back seat going into Series 12. I kind of want... I saw this suggested, I kind of want, solo adventures with just one of the companions. Maybe Graham and Ryan go off to do something else, They go down to an aquarium or something and the Doctor takes Yaz off on an adventure. Or just Ryan.
I think we need to do an episode a solo episode of just Yaz. The Doctor fangirls over Yucks.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And I'll tell you why, because she's done it a few times this series, and it seems to be a way of just getting exposition out. It's a thing Tennant used to do as well, but he'd do it so, sparingly.
Was it the people in Waters of Mars?
Yeah, kind of like that. That works. Yeah, because he goes up to them and he's like, lists off multiple things about them, so the writer doesn't have to write who they are as a person, because, we've just got it all as an exposition spill.
Yeah, but I feel like we've
had it too much.
That was subtle, and now it's just my name is Chris Chibnall. I am lazy. Here is everything that this character is.
It's annoying because he's good at writing characters, but
he's not good at writing dialogue.
Yeah, exposition overload everywhere. The main problem with Series 11 for me is too much exposition, too much tell, don't show, and, Sonic Screwdriver comes out a little bit too much for my liking.
Yeah, and the way she gets it out in some
I don't mind that.
episodes.
That's a personal touch.
Okay. I think next series Chris Chibnall should only do 4 episodes instead of 5.
Yeah.
So then we find out Tim Shaw is holding the prisoners in these containers.
I was a little disappointed by the conclusion. Because, I mean, he's waited this long, right, for the Doctor to show up. And the way he's defeated is like... Really?
How is he
You're from this
again?
warrior race. You've been
he's
put up as a god.
So then we find out why the MacGuffin, or what the MacGuffin is. Turns out it's a planet that was shrunk, Despicable Me style,
Yeah,
by
stealing
the
planets.
Airbenders using their Deus Ex Machina. And
It
the
reminds me
Doctor,
of the
and they
pirate
find
planet,
out that
except
the
they-
next planet is Earth. Done, indeed.
It reminded me of the Pirate Planet, except that it kept them in the crystals instead of gobbling them up.
Yeah.
Well, the two comparisons
But
I've
it
seen...
had vibes of the Pirate Planet.
Yeah, the two comparisons I've seen this episode are the Pirate Planet and Stone Earth. So yeah, they're stealing planets. The Earth is next. And it doesn't feel tense at any point. Like, there's no tension. It should have at that moment cut to like a news broadcast on Earth or people panicking.
So then the Doctor decides, hey, we've got Airbenders, let's do Deus Ex Machina to stop the Earth from dying. And that happens. And then everyone's all hunky-dory, the episode ends, and we get to see like a next time trailer about like New Year's special Daleks,
Except they don't show the Daleks and they don't mention who it is. So
Even
it
though
could be the Daleks,
the
it
Terry
might
Nation
not be.
estate would require that, wouldn't they? So thoughts on the Battle of Avocado?
It was
Overall thoughts.
good, but it wasn't spectacular.
I give it okay, what's good but not spectacular?
7 or 8. 6 if you're really being mean.
No, because you have a really weird way of rating things, though, Nick. It's like you think if it's below a 7, that makes it bad.
No. If it's below 5,
I've never
it's
seen
bad.
you like rate an episode like below a 6.
The Reign of
Space Pirates episode 2.
the Space
but
Pirates 1, 2, and
besides,
3.
the Space Pirates are like,
The Reign of Terror
the
is a 5 for
Susan
me.
Foreman thing.
I would give this. I wouldn't give this any more than a 7.
You know what? I agree. I was
It's
considering 9 when I
definitely
first
not
saw
an 8.
it, but then I thought, maybe a 7. It's sadly also
Yeah,
dropped
I
down
think
in my
it's-
list as well.
I completely agree. A 7 because I think it's a good story, but it's not a good finale.
Nothing. Well, I'm not taking into account the fact that it's a bad finale. I'm taking
No,
into
it's
account
not
the
just
episode
that,
we were
but I
given,
don't-
and it's like, yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
But it was
But it's
nothing more than good, you know.
Thing
it
is,
wasn't the Doctor
I
Falls.
like what this episode has done. I can't think of anything this episode has done bad, but I can't think of anything that's done that
Good.
good. It's not average.
Yeah, exactly.
It's enjoyable. It does actually do what some of it does what a finale is meant to do. Ties up loose ends from episode 1 and finishes Graham's arc, but that's about it. It doesn't have the punch that it needed.
It was just a bit underwhelming. I think it was. I think this was the make or break of Series 11. To people like me that have kind of been in the middle, and I think we didn't get the payoff we deserved, or it was alluding to.
I still feel like Series 11 is the best series we've had since Series 1.
Really?
That's mad, but okay. I've got it more in the middle, sort of in between. For me.
Yeah.
I think it's better than most of Moffat's seasons.
Yes. Apart from 5 and 10.
No, the thing is, I think I prefer Series 5. I think I prefer all the RTD seasons over it.
Yeah, I think I agree. Maybe not 2. Maybe? No. Series 1's the best.
But,
Yeah, okay.
If I rewatch the RTD series seasons, I think maybe I might prefer Series 3 and Series 4, but this is certainly
Series
better
3
than
is
all the
definitely up there
Moffat
for me.
seasons.
Yeah, I think the RTD era just felt
Maybe
very special.
Series 5 might be better than this.
Yes.
Maybe, possibly. And
I prefer it
Series...
for. I don't even like Series 5, but I prefer it as a whole.
because it felt like a complete package, I guess.
Yeah.
With stuff that could be expanded upon later on.
Yeah.
This feels open-ended.
Yeah.
It's just my problem with this series as a whole has been, I think just some of the writings let it down, mostly.
I feel like my problem, I have a problem with the series, and
characters good, sci-fi not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Council of Geeks put it best.
What video?
The problem with the series, everything in the series worked well on paper.
Yeah.
It's just its execution.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And it's because of Chris Chibnall, and we're not saying we don't want Chris Chibnall. We're saying we don't want him to write, because that's the main problem. He wrote 5 and co-wrote a 6th.
I think Chris Chibnall would make a good.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good at editing the scripts, like making the
And that's not
consistent
including
theme, stuff like that. But I don't think he should pan full-on episodes, especially not the more sci-fi ones.
Yeah.
Like the Tangerine Conundrum and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ghost Monument.
Yeah, and
was
this
alright.
one as well. I would say this is probably. I don't know if I think I prefer this one to Ghost Monument.
Really? I wouldn't.
Yeah. I gave Ghost Monument a 7, and I stand by that.
But
I feel like Ghost Monument was only 7 because of the stuff wrong with it, and because it had things wrong with it, and this episode did not really have things wrong with it. Therefore, this episode's better.
This episode, I think both have their problems, both have their strong points and their weaknesses.
I would say this episode was more consistent.
Yeah, I definitely say this one's better.
Yeah, this one's better, but I would still give them both 7 out of 10.
I prefer the Ghost Monument, personally.
We're not including Rosa.
Oh, Rosa's the best.
What do you think has been the weak links?
The woman who fell to
of
Earth, the
Series
best
11?
one that Chibnall wrote.
What do you think have been the weak links of Series 11?
Oh, the two I reviewed. On this
I
channel.
think it takes you away. I liked that
It
one.
was good.
It takes you away, but it's interesting. I can see why people don't like it though.
I
think I would give it
I liked
a
it, but I just
7 or
wasn't
8.
completely impressed with it. And I think I could say the same for here.
It's like Ghostlight, except it didn't leave an impact.
And it was easier to understand.
I would say.
Because there was...
I have 3 episodes that I'm really not a fan of this series. I think they all came back to back.
Oh.
It was the Sanandra Conundrum. What was the one with the big spiders?
That was Arachnid
UK.
Yeah, that one. I gave it a positive review, but I think it's a really weak story.
It is.
Reflected back on it.
If it was twice as long, it would have been better.
Yeah, no, I
But
don't know.
it's not because they're trying to cram too many things into a short amount of time. It's that because they have that short amount of time, they did not give it enough things.
I think
it would have been more layered if it was twice as long, and they would have. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel that episode as a whole is tonally inconsistent with itself and just gets caught up.
The characterization of the Doctor was the worst it was this season.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Okay, you're letting it die a slow, painful death, and this is better than shooting it because... I know the Doctor's anti-gun, but...
Yeah, but...
Owen
that obviously
Harper
makes it better.
was
Let's let them grow up and suffocate in a room.
It's like Owen Harper, right? From Torchwood. The thing is, Jack did not, think Owen Harper was a terrible person for killing that beast.
Yeah.
In Meat. Jack didn't want to kill the beast, but Owen realised that was the only way to do it. This was a similar case here, which... Who wrote Meat, actually?
I'm not sure. I'm going to quickly look. Meat was by Catherine Turgener.
Catherine Turgener. I knew it was a female writer.
And she wrote Adam as well. Sure. It was not directed by the same person, though. Colin Teague wrote Meat, and Andy Goddard directed. And Andy Goddard directed Adam.
My camera's going to run out of power in a minute, so let's round this off at some point.
My phone's running out of power.
Anyway, so Series 11, good. This episode, good. We've been good. See ya.